Hey y'all, it's Suzanne Titkemeyer. Used to be from No Longer Quivering. Now I'm just here for myself and doing my thing. Today I want to talk a little bit about if you move to Costa Rica about religion. Is it important to you? Is it not? I know most people these days are atheists, and that's cool. I have no problem with that whatsoever. I do have a problem with religions that push themselves on everybody. I do have a problem with that. I will say that. Don't like them much. And it's kind of funny because my own religious tradition, I came out of so many years in a church I'm just going to call a quiver full of a-holes. Because that's really what it boils down to. I've actually thought about writing a book about them because so many bizarre things happened in the many years I lived there. Then I went on to the Methodist Church, which was very methodical, but it was a very restful place. Then we came here to Costa Rica. When we were in Cope, we would go to the Catholic Church. Most of the Good afternoon, Pippi Longstockings. Most of the churches in Costa Rica are Catholic. Costa Rica is an overwhelmingly, hey, that Amber chick. Most of the churches in Costa Rica, most people are overwhelmingly Catholic. And that's fine. I was raised Catholic. So for me, my husband is the religious one of the family. We just went to the Catholic Church. And my Spanish was such that I could understand some of what was being said. My favorite priest at the Cope Church was one that was Ethiopian, I think it was. He was from Africa. I mean, he was shining black African. Hey, police wife. And Spanish was not his native language either. And he did speak English pretty well. He would have his sermonettes written down and he would read them and phonetically in Spanish, and I could follow him pretty easily. Then we came to Tamarindo. Tamarindo has a variety of churches. There's the big one that we were going to here. I'm no longer going to church there or going to church anywhere. I've kind of had my fill of organized religions. So I am off the spectrum doing the home church thing. Um, Here, I know there are at least three, maybe four churches that are what you would call standard evangelicals. Sometimes they're connected with the Baptist Church. Tamarindo Church is connected to the Missionary Baptists. Casa Vida, I don't know what they're connected to, but that's where my husband is going now and where I am not going. I have my own issues with certain kinds of evangelicalism. Yeah, home church is where it's at. At least you don't have to listen to a-holes rant about the end of the world or women wearing pants and all that ridiculous nonsense. It really does not affect the way I judge church. If they talk about helping others, if they speak the words of Jesus about helping other people, then I'm all for it. My problem comes in when people start adding their own, let's call it what it is, BS to it. There's also a big church, and I'm not sure who they're connected to near near Brasalito, called Beach Community Church. They're pretty decent. I've been there a few times. They I was raised strict Catholic too. And yeah, Catholics will do that. Catholics can be quiverful as well, as you well know. So I did go to the Catholic Church for a while. There's a Catholic Church here, but it's all in Spanish. There's no translations, nothing like that. There's also various Spanish churches. There's a really good evangelical Spanish speaking church between here and Wacas that I know some of the people from. I know their pastor. I've heard him speak. He's really good. He's very biblical as far as like Jesus. Hey, Nana, I'm trying my darndest to do the home church thing now because of everything that's just going on. One of the problems that I've always found with church, and here it seems to be magnified, is you get a few people with money that think they want to run the entire thing, and they make it happen. Here we have way more what I would call super conservatives that, oh, I know you have in Alabama. It's like that here. It's concentrated. It's concentrated a-holery. It just really depends upon the church. But the church I was going to, the pastor's going, there's a bunch of drama going on, and that's the last thing I want after my quiver full of a-holes church. That church went so nutty, bizarre, off the rails, toxic that most everybody left, and at the end, there were only two or three families going. They ended up selling the entire building to a church that was an Al Mohler plant, one of his Baptist plants, um, and they took it over, which is a whole nother ball game because I want to know who got the money. I think it was the people on their board got the money, and those were the few little people left when they sold the church. That would be my guess. I don't know that for sure. So the thing with church here, it can be problematic. I'm seriously considering at this point going. Oh yeah, police wife. I'm familiar with that part of the world too. My family always had a beach house for many years in Orange Beach, Alabama. I spent so many days, nights, and whatever going to that Floribama, the lounge there, the lounge and pizza joint right on the Gulf, right on the state line, which is a kind of an interesting thing if you think about it. And I actually love the Floribama because they have a service that they have outside called Worship on the Water. I tried to talk our pastor here into doing that, and he just was not interested. Not interested at all. So it is what it is. And for me, this is a real season of change because I used to be on a worship team. I'm not going to do that anymore. I've been for many, 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 many years through many churches. I've always been on worship team singing, and that's not happening. Yeah, yeah. The thing with the religious, hey, Melody, the thing with the religious, with the religious, like I said, my yardstick now measurement is always going to be what did Jesus say? What did he do? If you're doing anything that's not like that, if you're going on and on and on about these other things that don't matter, I'm just going to skedaddle on out of there. Oh, Ukrainian churches near you. I don't know, but I did see one thing here that kind of blew my mind. There are Mennonites here. I had never dreamed that there would be, but I saw them in their Mennonite dresses, with the little capes in the front that covers everything and goes over at Walmart. Walmart in Liberia. Liberia also has a Methodist church. I may check that out one day as well. I like the Methodists. Now, there's not a lot of excitement there. There's not a lot of fire going on or that sort of thing, but their theology is rock solid. They try to love one everybody. They try to accept everybody. They always say open hearts, open minds, open arms. They just don't judge it. They try not to judge anybody. And for me, I think the Methodist Church is the best fit I'm going to find around here. But it's going to be a matter of driving that hour one way each week. So here's my quandary. I'm going to ask you guys and ask for advice. We just heard from some people from our quiverful of a-holes church that we knew from then that want to come down and stay in our guest house. I don't mind that. I welcome them. I used to love these people very dearly. Take their son with us. We go up to Toronto Airport Christian Fellowship conferences. They've taken my child. We used to be real good friends. Now, when I left my old church, the quiverful of a-holes, I called her several times, and each time I was told that I was too much of an apostate to hang around with. I might impact her faith, so she wasn't going to have anything to do with me. Of the 200 plus people I knew in my old church, I've only stayed in touch with two. Two people that did not judge me and stayed my friend the entire time. So here's the thing I'm trying to come up with an idea about how to be tolerant and nice to these people when they come, because right now I just feel like torturing them. There were just too many nasty things that were said after they left, and they're coming to move here. They're very conservative. They believe in all the weird stuff. They're just this side of Fundy Town. I don't know what the visit's going to be like. I feel kind of sorry. I feel kind of nervous about it because it could go anyway. Could go anyway. I used to love these people. It would be nice to be friends again, especially if they move here. So I'm asking for advice. How do I do this? Because I'm actually stumped right now. I'm just like wanting to burn them at the stake. And I know I could always say no, but I don't feel, I feel like if I do that, it would just cause a fight with my husband, number one. Number two, it would be difficult to explain to them. And I don't want to make anybody else stumble. And I can always put them in the guest house. I don't have to put them in the house. So there's that. So if you're a member, please pray for me being kind to them. They're trying to move here. We're going to help them with that. Anybody trying to move here, if you're ready to move here, let me know and I'll sponsor you, because one of the hard things about moving to Costa Rica, besides finding a new church, is if you don't know anybody, you don't have anybody to stand up for you and sign off on you at the bank saying, yes, I've known this person X amount of time. They're a wonderful person. Give them a bank account. You literally cannot get a bank account that will allow you to transfer money in and out of Costa Rica unless you have somebody here who is in good standing with the bank. There are so many little ins and outs to moving to Costa Rica, and that's one of the big ones. Uh, Thank you so much, Bite Me Now. Thank you, thank you. And I am going to keep myself busy, JC. Mills, I'm going to have to at this point. Um, that Amber chick, yeah. And like I said, anybody who comes that I know, I'll help them. I'll get them set up with their bank account. I'll take you around, introduce you to everybody you need to know, because there are people here that you need to know. There, I've said this before. The last time I was talking about here, um, it was about, what did I talk about last time? Getting a plumber, the plumber situation. Our plumber still hasn't shown up. It's manana, and he was a good one. So we're just going to have to wait until he shows up, because that toilet on, turn on the water, pull the lid off. The water shoots, hits the ceiling. Back when I was a lot younger and we lived in the States, I did all the plumbing work. I did everything. Every now and then I would call the plumber out if I hit a snag that I could not resolve. It's not so now. I protect myself. I'm just going to have, yeah, we're going to meet them and drive them around most definitely. They're going to want to stay at our guest house. I'm going to let them because, like I said, it's across the party. It's across the lot. It's at the very front, at the front gate. It's a nice little place. It's like 900 square feet or something. I keep joking, teasing Jim and saying if anything ever happens to him, I'm moving out there and renting this house out. This big, huge honking, without even touching retirement or savings or anything else. I'm going to take lots. I'm going to stay in my pool. Conversation stay on the topic of, yes, absolutely. Absolutely, that's where the conversation. And like I said, I will take them around and introduce them, because if you come here and you don't have any idea, it can be really hard. And that's a situation we researched this thoroughly, did a lot of stuff. So we weren't entirely in that phase. But I see so many people that are, which is why I'm concentrating on this now, why I'm trying to write a book. Because coming here as a tourist and living here are two totally very different things. Even when you live in a tourist trap town like I do, where I live near Tamarindo, and it's kind of like living near Panama City Beach. So, that being said, the other things you need to consider when you move here is you need to be able to, it's helpful to have outside income, because in order to be able to file for residency, you have to prove you have $1,500 a month coming in from some other source. Um, they won't let you work unless you are a resident, unless you're working for dollars under the table. It is a beautiful. I like the relaxing at 12 months a year, and the animals are the reason to stay. The very peacefulness, and the people here are wonderful. They are some of the kindest,